Welcome everyone to the second lesson of the 90-Day Challenge programme about changing your food and changing your life. This lesson is about getting into the wellness zone. The Zone diet was created by Barry Sears, an American doctor whose father died at the age of 52. He was a world-class athlete. He also lost his brother and grandfather to heart disease. So he researched into why his family died, and he came to the conclusion that it came from inflammation, which can change the expression of your genes. My name is Jeanette Warren. I studied in New York and I am a certified integrative nutritional health coach. The reason I put these lessons together is because I want you to get the big picture. This is all about you. You attracted ViSalus into your life because they represent life transformation, and these lessons aid in creating your own transformation and not falling back into your own ways. And the reason I'm talking slowly is that I want you to understand the information, and when you change your food and mind, you can have a profound effect on others. You may have to listen to these lessons a few times. You don't have to do anything. Just be your authentic self. It's like magic. By eating synthetic processed foods, we become synthetic processed people. We're not human anymore. By eating real food, we become real people. It's like coming from the dark into the light. I believe in this company ViSalus and their commitment to life change and healing, and I'll do my part in supporting them in their cause. Inflammation is a big concern. It is the silent killer. We are on the cusp of change. Chronic disease means increased inflammation. If you control inflammation, you control the rate of aging because you are changing the expression of your genes. I'm going to teach you this now. Inflammation is like an internal fire. Your cells are red, they are on fire, causing heat, pain, and it sometimes hurts. But silent inflammation is inflammation below the perception of pain and eventually causing heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, and immune deficiency. You have the power to change by the food you eat. It's called an anti-inflammatory diet. Silent inflammation causes diabetes, allergies, asthma, anything that ends in itis. Chronic disease means you have to take drugs for the rest of your life to keep inflammation under control. More people die from anti-inflammatory drugs than AIDS. When we get a headache or when we have some pain in our body, we take painkillers, usually ibuprofen or aspirin, to combat the pain. The pain we are feeling is inflammation, but the silent inflammation is what we want to prevent, and that is causing all the damage without us knowing, because we don't feel the pain for years, until eventually it comes out in our bodies as diabetes, heart disease, and other illnesses. Insulin is a hormone produced by the pancreas that controls glucose. Carbohydrates are converted into glucose in the body. Glucagon is stimulated by the amount of protein in your diet. It's like like a mobilization hormone. They are vastly powerful in controlling inflammation because they were the first hormones ever developed by living organisms 500 million years ago. A balanced meal consists of a third good quality protein, 2/3 low glycemic load carbohydrates with lots of colour, and a dash of fat, no hard oils, which accelerates aging. Protein moves around and carbohydrate grows in the ground. People don't realise that an apple is a carbohydrate, a low glycemic load carbohydrate, because the tree grows in the ground and grows the apples. This is called the anti-inflammatory food pyramid. At the bottom, lots and lots of vegetables with lots of colour, the colour of the rainbow. Then we have fruits, and then low-fat protein of good quality, monounsaturated fats, that includes olive oil, and avocados is a great source of fat, and then grains and starches, used in moderation. So what's causing this epidemic? The answer is increased consumption of refined carbohydrates, and that is junk food, bagels, pasta, industrialized meat, processed foods, and excess consumption of omega-6 fatty acids found in soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, and canola oil. When these omega-6 fatty acids begin to interact with high levels of insulin caused by eating more carbohydrates, it's like adding a flame to a barrel of petrol. To keep the fire of inflammation under control, omega-3 fatty acids is necessary in high enough concentrations. These fatty acids are the most potent anti-inflammatory drugs known to medical science. It's a case of good genes turning bad. Years ago, there were no drugs. Today, our immune system is being turned against us, and our bodies are mistaking the food we eat for microbial invasion. Our genes live in the Stone Age, and we eat in the 21st century. It's the growing disconnection with the food we eat and the expression of our genes that's causing this silent inflammation epidemic. There are benefits of excess body fat. The adipose tissue stores your fat cells. The benefits are that it prevents lipotoxicity. When the adipose tissue begins to infiltrate into other organs, bad things happen, like diabetes, heart disease, etc. Your fat is a great toxic waste dump storing environmental toxins that were not here hundreds of years ago. For example, PCBs, herbicides, pesticides, fat-soluble toxins. Also, losing a lot of weight fast means the toxins are getting squeezed out of the fat cells and into the bloodstream, and looks for the organ in the body that's very rich in fat, and that's called the brain. Omega-6, also known as arachidonic acid, is very dangerous and causes inflammation. You need some, but too much is incredibly dangerous, causing clotting of the blood, and it gets stored in our adipose tissue and grows and stores even more. Our first sign of a benign fat tumour that metastasizes is type 2 diabetes with 10 to 15 year shorter life. As I said before, it's all about life balance. If you're living a very healthy lifestyle and you're eating all the right foods, but you have a job that's causing a lot of stress, or you have a lot of stress in your home life, no matter how much you eat, the nutrients will not be absorbed into your bloodstream. Also, if you have a very good social life, but your financial situation is not good, that causes imbalance. It's all about getting every part of your life in balance. Start by making some small changes, by eating fewer processed foods, replacing your junk food with healthy snacks, developing a spiritual practice that's also very important for your health, and practice cooking and finding a job that you really like that helps you improve your health enormously, and increase the whole grains in your diet, and become aware of what's going on inside of your body. These are a list of foods to avoid. You can replace junk food with healthy snacks, and also vegetable oils. Hard vegetable oils are to be avoided: margarine, sunflower oil and soybean oil. And the reason being is that they actually cause your cells to harden. Choose softer oils like olive oil or coconut oil. Here are examples of balanced meal. So half of your plate should be vegetables of all colours and fruits, 2/3 vegetables, 1/3 fruit, and a quarter of your plate should be high glycemic carbohydrates like rice, potatoes and pasta, and then the other quarter is high quality protein, and no more than 1 tablespoon of fat, and that's high quality fat. It is recommended if you drink alcohol to choose red wine. It's the healthiest you can drink, and no more than 2 glasses. The reason why industrialized meat or processed meat is not a good source of protein is that the animals are being fed a lot of grains instead of eating grass. And grains are very high in omega-6 fatty acids, and that's the reason it is not recommended to eat too much bread. In fact, bread is high glycemic and is converted into glucose. Bread is like eating sugar. The adipose tissue, these are your fat cells. When they grow and grow, just like a tumour, your options to do something about it becomes very different. Eat less and exercise more is not working. Calories are converted into chemical energy, a molecule called ATP. ATP runs your body. Without it, you're dead in 10 seconds. Your metabolism is how slow or fast you turn calories into ATP. It takes a lot of energy to convert 1 calorie of protein into fat, and it takes less energy to convert carbohydrates to fat, and it takes no energy to convert fat into fat. It's insulin that makes you fat and keeps you fat. There's also visceral fat, that's people with a high metabolism and skinny and have to eat more and more calories, which are wasted in free radical generation, and that causes accelerated aging. Too much exercise also. The fat trap means that you're cannibalizing your own tissues and organs. The food you eat can reduce inflammation that's driving that adipose tumor. Cancer has a lot of similarities to diabetes. Inflammation precedes obesity. It's only when obesity metastasizes to other parts of the body that you get chronic disease. What can you do to combat the silent inflammation? You've got to reduce inflammatory fat by reducing the glycemic load, and that is the amount of insulin being released with a meal. Coca-Cola or whole wheat bread releases 8 times more insulin than a carrot. More insulin means more fat. That includes junk food, fruit juices, baked goods, pasta, cereals, oils, etc. Moderate the glycemic load. High protein diet pushes insulin down, but creates a glucagon-insulin imbalance, and the body responds by increasing another hormone called cortisol, and that's what makes you fat again. Take your fish oil. It has profound anti-inflammatory effects. Omega-3 helps change the levels of those hormones called eicosanoids that control inflammation and facilitate cancer metastasis. Low levels of omega-3 causes ADHD. Benefits of a high-dose fish oil are: fights heart disease, ADHD, depression, MS, Alzheimer's, brain traumas, chronic pain, osteoporosis, skin disorders, infertility and weight gain, because these are conditions driven by silent inflammation. EPA and DHA, they are mono and polyunsaturated omega fatty acids, should be taken in high concentrations. They can cross the brain-blood barrier to help reduce neuroinflammation and to aid in the rebuilding of neural networks. Sportsmen use it as a high-octane fuel for ATP synthesis. That's the energy for the cells. Pure fish oil also makes you smarter. So DHA is the needed fat for the brain, whereas EPA is the key fat for your heart and overall health. So a good quality omega-3 fish oil is rich in both. So how do you maintain wellness? Well, eating small meals throughout the day, replacing unhealthy snacks with healthy snacks, eat a low-fat protein at every meal, fish or low-fat meat, avocados, and avoid fatty red meats, egg yolks, organ meats, and bread, which are very high in omega-6 fatty acids. Eat lots of vegetables and fruits. Pile on the vegetables, less fruits, more vegetables. Take fish oil every day and exercise regularly, but don't overdo it and stress the body. And meditate for 10 minutes. Food does not replace drugs. Food makes drugs work better, at lower concentrations and less side effects. Food is medicine, not alternative medicine. Anti-inflammatory diets means you have to control your hormones, and that also means you eat a balanced meal of protein, carbohydrates and fats. Keep them in the zone. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this lesson. Next week's lesson is about nutrients you need to know to prevent cancer and other diseases.
지시 오내수 산재함을